get right into it. This is a question I see all the time, a real clash of titans that fandoms have been debating forever. What happens when a guy who commands an infinite army of the dead goes up against a guy who, well, you literally can't touch? We're going to break down the epic hypothetical throwdown between two of the most OP characters out there, the Shadow Monarch Sung Jinwoo and the one and only strongest sorcerer, Gojo Satoru.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll set the scene with the clash of the strongest. Then, a quick tail of the tape to see who we're dealing with. After that, it's Infinity versus the Abyss, which leads right into the big moment, the void shatters. And finally, we'll see how the Monarch's authority seals the deal.
Okay, first up, the clash of the strongest. Picture this. Two absolute forces are about to collide.
So imagine a city, completely leveled, just rubble and dust. The ground itself is shaking. On one side, you've got Gojo Satoru, right? 6 eyes out, glowing, and he's just got this super chill, absolutely confident vibe. And standing opposite him, Sung Jinwoo. He's literally a figure made of darkness. And behind him, you can just feel this ocean of shadows, his entire army, just waiting for the command.
And this quote, man, this is Gojo in a nutshell, is looking at a force that could probably end the world, and what's his first thought? This should be fun. He's not just confident, he is stoked. You can tell he's been waiting for a real fight for a long, long time. All right, let's get to the tail of the tape. We got to understand who these guys are and what they're bringing to the table, because this isn't just about who punches harder. This is a battle of concepts.
In this corner, we've got Gojo Satoru, the strongest sorcerer. His whole deal is the 6 eyes and the limitless curse technique, which basically gives him total control over space. And in the other corner, Sung Jinwoo, the Shadow Monarch. This guy doesn't just have an army, he's the ruler of death itself. You kill something in front of him, guess what? It's his now, forever. Okay, let's talk about Gojo's Infinity, because this is super important. It is not a force field. Think of it like this. The space between you and Gojo gets divided into an infinite number of tiny pieces. So to touch him, you'd have to cross an infinite amount of space. It's not that your punch gets blocked, it just never ever arrives. It's a mind-bendingly broken defense. So how do you even deal with Infinity? Well, that's where Jinwoo's Monarch authority comes in. This isn't just about having cool shadow puppets, it's a conceptual power. He has absolute dominion over death. His power doesn't really care about physics or the laws of our reality. And that is going to be the absolute key to this whole fight. Okay, the introductions are over. Time for the battle to begin. This is it, Infinity versus the Abyss. So, Jinwoo makes the first move. He's unbelievably fast, a blur of motion, and he's right there, daggers, aimed for the kill shot. But they just stop. They hang in the air, inches from Gojo's neck, hitting that invisible wall. Right away, we see it. Infinity is the real deal. Jinwoo's physical power, his insane speed, it means nothing if he can't close the distance. And Gojo's response is just so Gojo. It's not even arrogant. He's just stating a simple fact he's observed. So, you can't touch me. He's just analyzed the situation and confirmed his defense works. You almost get the sense he thinks the fight is already over. But Jinwoo isn't just some brute. He's a brilliant strategist. His thought process is immediate. Okay, I can't touch him. Fine. So what does he do? The entire ground just erupts. Thousands upon thousands of shadow soldiers pour out, flooding the city. It's not a one-on-one fight anymore. It's one versus infinity. And we're not talking about a mindless horde here. You've got his top generals leading the charge. Igris, Baru, Belian, any one of them is a nightmare opponent. But here's the real kicker, the part that makes this so broken. They can't die. Gojo can blast them to pieces and they just get back up. They reform instantly. How do you beat an army that's literally endless and immortal? So, we're at a stalemate. Gojo can't be touched, but he can't win a war of attrition against an undying army. He knows this, so he decides it's time to pull out the big guns and end this thing right now. He raises his fingers, and we hear those famous words, domain expansion, infinite void. Now, if you know Jujutsu Kaisen, you know this is game over. This is the ultimate checkmate. It's a guaranteed hit attack that floods your brain with, well, everything. All the information in the universe, all at once. It completely fries your mind, leaving you paralyzed. It's supposed to be unbeatable. Which leads to the big question, right? How could anyone survive that? It's not a physical attack. It attacks your very consciousness. It basically forces your brain to blue screen. No living thing is supposed to be able to handle it. So, what happens now? And this is where everything changes. Here's the catch. Infinite Void works on the living. It targets a living mind. But what is Sung Jinwoo? He's the Shadow Monarch. His entire being is tied to the concept of death. He's not exactly living in the conventional sense. And so, for the first time ever, we see Gojo look genuinely shocked as his ultimate move, his perfect trap, just starts to crack. It shatters like glass against a being that it was never designed to affect. Gojo's ace in the hole just failed. The entire battle has just flipped on its head. Now we get to see what the Monarch's authority is really capable of. Just one word. As the pieces of the shattered domain fall around them, Jinwoo just says, arise. And it's not just his soldiers responding. He's taking control of everything. The latent cursed energy, the very shadows of the destruction, it all bends to his will. The entire battlefield is now his weapon. So let's run through the final play-by-play. Step 1.
The domain shatters, and for the first time, Gojo is stunned. He's vulnerable. Step 2. Jinwoo doesn't hesitate. He uses Shadow Exchange and instantly appears right next to Gojo. No distance to cross. Step 3, and this is the whole ballgame. His daggers, glowing with the Monarch's authority, slice forward. They aren't just cutting through space, they're attacking with the concept of death itself, completely bypassing infinity. And step 4, the blow lands. It's over.
So why did it work? Why did infinity finally break? It's simple, really. Gojo's power gives him absolute control over the space of the living. It's an incredible power. But Jinwoo's authority gives him absolute control over death. And in a fight between these two concepts, death is just a higher authority. It's a power that operates on a different, more fundamental level.
And that's the verdict. Gojo is down. Before he even has a chance to heal, shadows shoot up and bind him, draining what's left of his cursed energy. The strongest sorcerer of the modern era is defeated. The Shadow Monarch is the last one standing.
So that leaves us with one last question to think about. This whole battle was space versus death. And when you get right down to it, when you're talking about these kinds of absolute, conceptual powers, is there anything in fiction that can really, truly beat the concept